lo checker, physical, oh digital, cliché analog, oh digital. JJ, me and you go enter one the car. Open the so the clothes they will not take her. Oh mystical, Baba me so, 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 Baba me so. Go to the goal, oh critical, Baba me so, 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 Baba me so. Go to the goal, oh mystical.
I'm on head touchdown. I'm on any swagger on the lockdown. Shaka ride like say she run town. When she walk up in the club, she calls a shutdown. Smiley face, so baby gon' frown. She be flying high in the place, she never touch ground. Try to chase, you better rush now. But if you all hype in the face, you make it calm down. Calm down, girl, it ain't serious. But seriously, your body's ridiculous. What were you thinking coming out in that mini skirt? Hurting the feelings of a lot of these pretty girls. Pretty girls, they all wanna be your girl. They wanna catch a glimpse, they wanna see you, girl. Go home and try to repeat you, girl. But not one of them could ever defeat you, girl.
Situation critical, homo electric, oh mystical. Front and back, typical. Check a lo checker, physical, oh digital, cliché analog, oh digital. JJ, me and you go enter one the car. Open the so the clothes they will not take her. Oh mystical, Baba me so, 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 Baba me so. Go to the goal, oh critical, Baba me so, 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 Baba me so. Go to the goal, oh mystical.
Boy, international kills. Hey, world famous Gabby, Mo Hicks, Coco Master the Banj. Hey, hey, come Jazzy your gang.
There's no one hotter than you. You're raising the temperature when you're walking into the room. You got everybody confused. You're making me see too. He really wanna talk to you, but while he thinking, let me show you what a real nigga do. Long legs and them Louis Vuitton shoes, and the caramel and dress looking like a size 2. Oh, she never taken a date.
This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want, watch TVM on all your devices. TVM, your world, your network.
Another beautiful day to you out there. For another wonderful, exciting, and scintillating. I prefer to call it an experience with us this day at TVM from the metropolitan town of Warri. And I am Lawrence Junior Aguele. I'm not alone this morning. I have with me the big man here, Mr. Fred O'Neill.
The big man.
Yeah, he's big. Sometimes we argue who is bigger.
Who's bigger?
In my eyes and my mind, is bigger than me. I don't care what anybody says. All right. So today we'll be looking at something that affects everybody in the country, including the president. Because yesterday we heard from the papers that the president has budgeted, Aso Rock has budgeted a certain humongous amount of naira to solve this problem. And we're looking at our electricity in Nigeria. What is Nigeria's power reality? Now we have an installed capacity of 13,000 or an approximate. These figures are approximates; they are not exact, meaning it's a plus or minus thing. So we have 13,000 megawatts. That's the installed capacity. The average generation is 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts, meaning we don't even use up to 50% of the installed capacity. And even that installed capacity is even not enough, yet we don't use up to half of it. Then what we need, our estimated demand, is 30,000 megawatts. So it means we are not even up to, we are just above about 20 to 30% of about 30% of what we need in terms of installation, in terms of our installed capacity. Then what does that mean for Nigeria? It means that Nigeria produces less than 1/6 of its electricity needs. And we also have a situation where our grids collapse per annum, like per annually, like is it per annually or like every other day? Our grid collapse is now like the DJ spinning his wheels in the club. So going back and forth. We just started the year and barely 1 week later the grid collapsed. But one thing I have to say, even as we stroke and criticize, I have to also say there have been a good level of improvement at the way the grids are quickly sorted out. I don't know if they have a makeshift arrangement that it doesn't stay more than a day, the grid is back. Then before the grid collapse, we just go and buy fuel, and a lot of fuel because there will be no light for a long time. So now we have nationwide blackouts occurring regularly in 2026. I think we've already had about 2 or 3 nationwide blackouts this year already. And it has caused a total loss of supply across multiple regions. Some of the issues we have issues of aging infrastructure, we have vandalism and water failure. So these and more we will look at today on TVM Express, but we can't go more into it without first of all checking out what our dailies are saying. So Mr. Fred, what do we have on today's daily?
Yes, as you were talking about the national grid, I think it's still in one of the stories in the dailies. Let's start off with, we have a couple of dailies, by the way. Let's start off with the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust today, Friday. The major headline here says, El Rufai's airport drama rekindles crackdown claims. El Rufai's airport drama rekindles crackdown claims. Okay, we also have other stories in front of the Daily Trust. Tinubu will decide on e-transmission of election results. That's coming from his aides. All right, more condemnations trail U.S. bill targeting Kwakwaso for visa ban. Still at the top end of the Daily Trust, we have Jonathan Akume differ on age requirement for leadership. Workers abandon FCT Health Center over banditry. That story on page 12 of the Daily Trust. United Nigeria to acquire 11 aircraft, begin flights to Jeddah. Fubara sacks commissioners coming from River State. And at the foot of the Daily Trust, we have on Muritala Muhammad, fading eyewitnesses, lingering memories. Yes, I think this story about the former military head of state, floored many of the dailies today. All right, that does it with the Daily Trust for today. Let's go over to the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun, the major headline there says, Bishop Kukah cries out, says criminals soliciting money in his name. Innocent persons parted with millions of naira. That's Bishop Kukah crying out there. Other stories, Dangote Refinery's production expansion will push naira below 1,000 to the dollar before year end. This is coming from Otedola.
Dangote, the savior of the country. Dangote is now acting like he's the chairman, chief executive of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And of course, Kalu, another wealthy man in Nigeria, hails that historic milestone. One wealthy man to another wealthy man, Otedola, saying Dangote Refinery's production expansion will crash the naira to the dollar exchange rate to 1,000, below 1,000 naira. That's what he says. All right. INEC has no control over network infrastructure for transmission of results. This is coming from the INEC chairman himself, Amoputan. It says proposes 873.78 billion naira for 2027 elections. Okay, at the foot of the Daily Sun, United Nigeria Airlines unveils expansion plans. Why I didn't honor EFCC invite. This is coming from El Rufai, and of course promises to be at the Anti-Graft Bodies Office on Monday, the 16th of February 2026. And of course, a council is angry over the budget DSS arrested move. So much drama. Yes, when you see that clip, so much drama. All right, still on the Daily Sun, Sun at the foot of the paper. Labour Party crisis gets messier as party chair and NLC demand Abure's rearrest. So much drama with the Labour Party. Igbo youths applaud Kalu's advocacy for electronic transmission of election results.
The Kalu that in jail?
Kalu.
Okay.
Yeah. Kalu. All right, let's go to the Nation newspaper. The major headline there says the INEC chairman, Amobutan, says INEC to spend 1.04 trillion naira on elections and others. And of course, it says commission needs own network.
Commission needs its
own network. Lawmakers approve bulk disbursement of cash.
I don't know
in that regard.
I don't know who told him that they need their own network, customized for them, right?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Well, at the end of this, a company will always run that network. INEC do not have the capacity to build their own telecom network. So so maybe one of the telecom providers would build for them, but it's still a redundant idea because you are going to conduct elections around the country.
Of course.
Network is location based, it's geo based. It's not like you just, except it's a satellite network that you can move about with the devices. Well,
let's see how that pans out. But the information I also have, I don't know if it's in one of these dailies, maybe we'll talk about that. Some of the telecoms are saying they want to go satellite, and that's for security reasons anyway. If we have the story, maybe we'll talk about it. Fubara begins implementation of peace deal with ESCO dissolution. You get our story on page 3 of the Nation. Other stories at the top of the template. Otedola says Dangote's full production will show up naira value. United Nigeria boosts operations with 11 planes and US route. And Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar to import grass from Nigeria. To import grass from Nigeria.
Hamas means and Hamas poison.
I'm telling you. I mean, if that is going to bring revenue to the federal government, so be it.
Yeah.
As First Lady canvasses greater unity among Nigerians. Banking sector to drive 7% Nigeria's GDP growth, says World Bank. Other stories from the nation. Arrest drama on El-Rufai's arrival at Abuja airport. Ex-governor's passport seized. Too sad. And at the foot of the paper, Court of Appeal reserves judgment in 9 consolidated PDP cases. As, yes, this one drew my attention. Protests as NAFDAC refutes directive to lift ban on sachet alcohol. Quickly, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune for today. The major headline there says, Mina visits Atiku Force Fire Shade, dismisses his claim as beer parlor tales of infamy. My goodness. You know, when you see some of these political leaders, you're wondering what kind of leaders we really do have, you know. Dangote refinery achievement could push Naira below 1,000 Naira to the dollar before December. I think the Tribune stipulated this on their headline now, the time frame before December, according to Otedola. El-Rufai will report to EFCC on Monday, says counsel, condemns attempt to arrest him at Abuja airport. U.S. Religious Freedom Bill, Kwakwasiya movement cries foul. You get that on page 2 of the Tribune, Nigeria Tribune. Gunmen kidnap 12-year-old female student in Ibadan. 12-year-old student in Ibadan. You get the story on page 12. INEC 6, 873.78 billion naira for 2027 polls. NADDC launches service charter as the Director General calls for renewed commitment to local manufacturing, industrial self-reliance.
Hold on. I hope people understand, or our publishers, or even INEC understand that there was a very huge difference between 873 billion naira and 1 trillion naira.
Yes, there is.
So why some people are reporting 1 trillion, some people are reporting 873, and I don't understand that figure. The chasm in between is too wide.
There is a breakdown of why it got to the 1-point-something trillion naira. This 873.7 billion naira is for the general elections for next year.
The 1 trillion is for what?
Now, the one that now summed it up to 1 point, it's not like it's a separate 1-point-something trillion. It's the total. The difference, you know, from this amount of 873.78 billion and that other amount that made it to 1-point-something is for what they called for this year, fiscal expenditures and what have you for this year, 2026.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, the expenditure.
I think, yes.
This is just to propagate the election.
Yes, for the election 2027.
All right.
All right. Lastly, the story from the Nigerian Tribune. African can't sustain democracies without young leaders. Coming in from the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan. Muritala's assassination forced Nigeria to rejig security architecture. Also, another statement coming in from a former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. Quickly to the Guardian, the main story there says National Assembly tightens grip on public finances amid 2027 election funding debate. You get the story on page 6. Also about the Muritala Mohammed at 50 celebration. 13th of February will make it exactly 50 years after when he was killed. African leaders trade blames over continent's woes, and of course, gerontocracy. You get that story on page 3 of the Guardian. Other stories: we must outgrow disregard for rule of law, El-Rufai says after attempted arrest. Nothing much. Okay, on Senate now, real-time results transmission does not translate to e-voting.
Yeah, like we said earlier, we know that.
We know about this. I don't know why they are saying that like Nigerians adapt. I don't understand.
We know that.
Okonkwo says lack of transit facilities undermining Nigerian Airlines potential. And you talked to, I think I said something about the national grid. 4 1,521 megawatts shortfall in nationwide power supply as gas facility undergoes repair.
So meaning we're going to be having some power problems.
Of course, I think they gave a time frame for that as well, sometime this month. All right, so I think that's all from the dailies.
Okay. One thing that made the whole daily, that is one of the stories that went through the daily, is El-Rufai, the man of the hour. I said there was no such thing as bad publicity, have you? Everybody now is talking of El-Rufai. I do feel there is a level of there is this Gestapo approach towards arresting people in Nigeria that I don't quite appreciate. You want to arrest people who are civilians, and you're arresting them as if you're arresting military people or military criminals. It's usually too much. I think a man of El-Rufai standing should be accorded some level of dignity in inviting him first. After all, he is not a guilty criminal yet. That's escaping judgment.
Yes.
You're investigating him. You want to question him. So you write to his lawyer. And his lawyer comes. I don't. Nigerian security architecture has this habit of arresting whoever they need to question, like they're arresting somebody who has committed a crime or who is guilty of committing a crime. We shouldn't let emotion becloud our judgment. A suspect in a crime is still a suspect in a crime. It's still a person. If you have every evidence to prove that he has committed a crime, as long as he's not in danger of harming somebody. I think that is when you can now go all Gestapo. Maybe the person is in danger of harming somebody, he's armed, he has a gun, he can discharge at any time, or he can kill anybody. But if you are a civilian, just quietly calling him.
The interesting part about this El-Rufai story is that he was in faraway Egypt, in Cairo, when it was invited. And if he actually wanted to escape them, he wouldn't have returned to the country. He got back to the country, and immediately you want to escort him to where, you know. And I love the way they handled it at the airport. Is there any invite now that I should follow you? Is there any warrant? They were unable to give him anything, and that's why, you know, people that were at the airport who came to welcome him, you know, resisted the arrest.
We should our security agencies should learn how to arrest people. There's a procedure
for making arrests.
Stop. People, a lot of Nigerians look at this administration as an administration that is hard on dissenters, hard on people who speak against them. But our security agencies do not make it easy on this administration. Even if you want to impress your paymaster, color it properly. Give it a good color. You want to question the man, then invite him. He is not under arrest. There is no warrant out for his arrest. That you send the DSS. And DSS is Department for State Security. DSS is not police. I don't know since when. I
think the DSS was there, the EFCC was there.
EFCC wants to arrest a politician, they will call DSS. Like there is a crime committed against our sovereignty as a country.
Oh my goodness. And you know, like one of the dailies pointed out from his aides, his passport was seized.
I still don't know why that happened.
This man is not even a flight risk.
Except there was no court judgment ordering that his passport should be seized. We should actually, as a country, we should learn to obey the rule of law, because a lot of people might see, regardless of whose us is gold at the moment, it might be El-Rufai, it might be anybody. But the truth is, the fact that it can be anybody, it can also be you.
Yeah.
What is wrong, right? So we go on a break, and when we return, we'll have our guest joining us remotely to talk to us about these are our power grid. Today we just heard now that we are going to lose some more power. So he's going to talk to us about what he thinks we could do to improve our power and where our power sector is at the moment. So stay tuned.
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord, we thank you because you are alive. And because you live, we live. Thank you, Jesus. Casting down my crowns before the living God. Casting down my crowns before the living God. I'm pouring out my own before the Holy One. I'm pouring out my own before the Holy One. Now I need you to just raise your hand and worship the King of Glory. Our God is great and greatly to be praised. There is none like him. Yes, our God is great. Thank you, Jesus. I'm casting down my crown before the living God. Pouring out my own before the Holy One. I'm pouring out my you are the living God, Yahweh the living God. Yes, Yahweh the living God. Sing you are. Yes, you are. Yahweh. Yahweh. Lift it. Sing you are the living God. Sing you are. If you have a prayer language, voice, can you lift it to the King of Kings? You are the living God. Yes, you are the living God. 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 Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh, the living God. Laying down my crowns, laying down my fears. I don't have anyone but you, Lord. I'm laying down my doubts. I'm pouring out my own before everyone. Can we raise it? Just the voices. You are, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I need you to raise it. You are the living God. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Sing Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh. Yahweh. Sing Yahweh one more time. Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh, the living God. Yahweh. Somebody give the Lord a shout.
Are you ready? 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 Hey, my God! Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor! What's up for night? The sweet pass. What's up for night? What my people? What's up for night? You can come down. What's up for night? The sweet pass. Say, what's up for night? The sweet pass. What's up for night? The sweet pass. What's up for? Receive a song. You say,
Jesus, you too much.
what you've done in my life.
What you done in my life, I can't imagine.
Jesus, you too much.
Jesus, you too much.
I don't know what's a lose, I don't know what's a lose.
My life, I can't imagine.
When I think of, Jesus. When I think of where you brought me from, oh Jesus. Jump, 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 jump.
We're gonna pick up some good, good praise in here. Everybody, let me hear you scream. Are you ready? Let me just see you. Who does this together?
Jesus,
All right, you're welcome back for the break. And we have with us joining us remotely Mr. Fred Momo. Mr. Fred Momo is a technology expert and a power expert, a technology enthusiast and a power expert. And he's going to join us in looking at our power issues in Nigeria. Mr. Fred, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence. I'm always happy to be here.
All right, great. All right, so we have established that we have an installed electrical capacity of 13,000 megawatts, but our average generation is between 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts. Now, that 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts, unfortunately, we read in one of the dailies today that 4,500 of it is we are going to lose that amount because of some ongoing maintenance on the gas plants. Yeah, but the estimated demand, what we need as a nation to power our electricity is 30,000 megawatts. So it shows that we are actually producing less than 1/6 of what we need. Why, in your opinion, why do you think that is? Why do you think first of all, let's even forget about why we do not have enough installed capacity. But why is it that we are not able to, why do you think we are not able to even meet or use up the capacity that we have installed in generating electricity? We use less than half of it, by the way.
Well, for starters, it's still baffling if at 2016 even the one we had before it's depleting. I think there are we had then, it can no longer meet up with the supply that we need. It's probably old, and it needs a new repairs or everything overhaul, or we can just begin to have new policies to make state generate their own electricity, since the central can no longer do this job effectively.
So if I follow what you are saying, it means we should kind of decentralize our grid model, because right now we operate a centralized grid model. Where, in fact, the first day I learned this some years back, it was to me that you can generate power in the state, but you don't have to send it into the national grid for redistribution. So in your opinion, we should decentralize that system and stop using the centralized grid model?
Only way it's going to work, because the center at some point will not be able to supply everything, because there is always going to be a loss of power at some point. So it is better states. It's not all states that will be able to do this according to revenue and capacity, but share to generate this power.
Okay, how about privatizing at least very good portion of it, because a lot of power plants are in Nigeria. Good portion of it, because a lot of power plants in Nigeria are private. They are privately owned. Now these plants are already generating electric power. The distribution companies too are privately owned, maybe with government having some level of share in it. Then we now have a control body in the form of NEC controlling it. Continue. You say something?
I think it's majorly the business part that is actually privatized, because till now it is not. It can be scaled. If you ask an average Nigerian about the privatization of the power supply industry in Nigeria, you cannot just explain it directly. You get to a point where you still have to involve the government. It gets to a point government sells this unit. It is sketchy. Let me put it that way. You can't categorically say that it is totally privatized. You can't even say if it's a partnership, because government still controls a large area of it.
Okay, and that controlling aspect of government makes it, in your opinion,
Ex-
does it make it attractive for people to now really and fully invest in it?
it's not. If I'm a business person, I wouldn't want to go into a kind of business where the government can wake up one day and tell me shut it down.
Now, but the question now remains, the question now that is very important is, if we totally remove the hands of government
from
from
this
this,
electricity, whatever it is the government is involved in electricity, do you think Nigerians or the average Nigerians can afford power? Because it's
because
expensive.
Yes, it is expensive. Then it's not as if the government will totally just go. Government can act as oversight. Government can mandate these industries to say, okay, fine, distribute free meters and take the money from consumers gradually. There are cases like for instance, now I have benefited from a free meter. I think they installed it. I think about 3 weeks ago. Yes,
oh, really?
or yes, they installed it 3 weeks ago, and I was shocked. I was billed around 27 to 30,000 naira every month when they said the old meter was up so late.
Oh, wait. What did you say? You're billed how much?
For a three-bedroom flat with probably nothing, not no really no real appliances, like about 27 to 30,000 naira monthly, as
Is that for the
estimated.
meter?
No,
Okay, as estimated bill.
before.
Oh,
So when they brought the meter, it came with at least 50 units of electricity. I deliberately did not want to recharge. I said, let me see how long that 50 unit would run. That 50 units of electricity should be around 2,000.
That now, do you have an idea, or do you have a suggestion that could be put in place by NEC, or do you think NEC is deliberately not trying to enforce? Because I think they could be able to enforce. For God's sake, they are the federal
Exactly
government.
what I want to say. That's exactly what I want to say. There is no way what I've just told you now have not been said by another person. There is no way. There is no way they've not heard. There is no way they don't know. Because when I asked the guy, this is how much they paid in other areas, although they were not even supposed to pay that amount, the guy told me, now the message where they send me be that.
all right.
So,
Let's look at a part of this whole problem that belongs to us as Nigeria, which is vandalism. Our transmission lines are frequently sabotaged and attacked. I remember, I don't get to hear more of it these days, but years ago, every other month, we are buying armored cable. Armored cable is notoriously easy to steal from transformers. Every other month, we're
transformers.
buying, replacing armored cable, armored cable, armored cable. Is there, can I think that should be the responsibility of distribution company to protect those
To protect,
installations.
supposed to be, but well, I see how they try to protect because you cannot protect all of them. You have to. There are some going directly into the transformer. There are some that are going to the that are coming from the high tension to the step down. It's easy to fill up those ones with concrete or cement, but the ones going directly to the transformers, you cannot do that. Even that one that is filled up with concrete and cement is still risky because it needs to breathe. So
Okay,
the
so
security,
please continue. Don't worry, continue. Finish your thoughts.
the security issues with those cables, I think they should be at least security cameras, but who is going to man them? Who's going to watch? Who's going to be there to because the secondary solutions they are trying is still not okay in terms of flow of electricity because you compact it's not going to expand. It will not allow the cables to expand anymore because filling it with concrete will make it difficult for them to steal, makes it impossible for the cables to expand when it gets overheated. So
Okay.
it's also going to reduce the generation of electricity to cut short some of the production.
All right. Now let's get into another phase of this thing. States generate electricity now, right? We have states can generate electricity
Yes.
now. Do you
Yes,
think
yes.
states should also be able to transmit and distribute? Would you think that will solve the problems we have in the electricity supply?
The whole essence, I think Nigeria as a country has a way of doing things. I think the central does not really want to leave things. They want to hold on to things. I really don't know why. Why? Because the whole idea of allowing states to generate power and not distribute doesn't really make sense. It is going to make it easier, faster. Look at the Oshomo power plant. Although I don't really want to talk about the intricacies surrounding the whether will I say the collapse or the inefficiency of the plant. It makes sense. It makes sense. It was working. It was working fine. I don't know if they were still feeling the central though, but I think the state should be able to generate or partner. I think it's easy to partner. You partner, you allow your partners to maintain, because I have noticed my few years alive as a Nigerian, government doing business they've not really tried. I do tell people that government has no business doing business at all. You can partner, you can have an oversight, but leave the junk of maintenance to private partners. I think it is better you generate and you distribute. You can give the federal government some share. There is a way you do the sharing, or you just allow the state to do their own thing. At least it takes away some of your burden.
That makes a whole lot of sense. But there is also the complaint of the cost of gas,
because our power generation is with gas plants. Now, realistically, do you think solar generation can solve our power deficit? Mind you, the federal government, the presidency, has decided to install solar in their presidential palace, as in Aso Rock. When I heard the news, I felt a way, because if you are leaving the national grid, then what does that mean? Generation, local government can now realistically supply electricity by having solar panels or solar power supply. What do you think?